So you asked about the CLA 76, correct? That's what you
Yeah, so there was a tutorial I watched. I sent it to you. Maybe we can
Yeah,
go over
yeah,
it.
yeah, Devon Terrell, yeah. Yeah, I follow Devon Terrell too as well. I actually came across him through a what was it? It's some type of not organization, but some type of platforms that I found him on and that I
Okay.
used to do stuff on. Trying to remember the name of it, but anyway, it they stopped it, but it was basically a net kind of like a network, kind of like Facebook or so, but you can get
Uh-huh.
on there and you can like, create your songs, upload your songs, share it with people.
Okay.
So me and him both, and he actually ended up winning. So, congrats to him. But we competed in this remix of Neo's "You to Love." So
Okay.
Neo was like a part of the platform, like he was like
Wow.
the head behind, well, not the head behind it, but he was the face of the company. I can't remember. I can't remember what it's called.
Right on.
It was like underground something. I can't remember the name, but anyway, I just found out recently that they shut it down. Like, I guess it didn't work out right, but it got to
Oh,
the point where it was really cool. You can connect with other people, collab with them.
right.
Yeah, so it was really dope.
Yeah, I mean, someone's gonna have to re replicate that. Sounds
Yeah, I mean,
great.
well, we still got that. I mean, you still got that now because like you got like Bandlab. Bandlab is
Hmm.
a platform like you can actually record a project and collaborate with somebody, and they can record on it, and they send it back to you, send it back and forth.
Right.
So then they got the technology now where you can like actually record on the song together at the same time, you know,
Wow.
like where you'll be where you are, I am where I am, and then we'll be synced and then we'll just, get in. So
Right. I didn't think about that they use BandLab like to collaborate like that. That's cool.
yeah, well now BandLab doesn't have that technology, I don't think, but it does. But yeah, people can definitely collaborate. And then of course, when you record on BandLab, you can transfer it right into Cakewalk by BandLab too as well. So
Okay.
yeah, so that makes things much easier.
Yeah, I definitely like love talking about the whole, producing aspect. I'm starting to become like an audio nerd.
Yeah.
So, which is great because, it was really intimidating getting into it as just an artist. And you're like, I got to do all this, but now I'm just like super intrigued by it all. So.
Yeah, but yeah, well, I mean, it's always good to just get started, man. So, that's like with anything that you do in life, stop being scared. I had to tell myself that, like
Right.
I always tell the story of how I started recording at a young age. My father's a musician. I'm a musician. We play all the time, but I started recording, and I recorded my original songs, and I started writing songs when I was 7 years old. So I was always writing, and then I started recording, and like I slept on the music for, almost 20 years before I
Mhm.
released any of it. So, and then it was like all that, ooh, I don't think it's good enough. I think I need to remix it. I don't like the way I sounded, and then when 2020
Mhm.
hit, COVID hit, I just felt the urge, say, hey, look, just release the music. I was 18 years old when
Right.
I recorded the music, and, now I'm turning 40s. So in July. So
I'm gonna have to check out some of your music.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, check it out. It's on the Just the Norm. I'm
Okay.
working on an album. I mean, I released probably like 8 or 9 singles, basically. But oh, I mean, I
Right
released
on.
my first EP in 2020. So, but I'm saying
Okay.
it took that long. It took that long, to do that
Yeah.
from like 2002, 2003 when I recorded the stuff
Right.
till 2020 when I released it. So,
Hmm.
just get it out there. Just know, you're I think of it like this: somebody's gonna like your project. So it might not be in the
Right.
U.S. It might be somewhere in another country. They're gonna be like, "Man, I play this song like all the time." Like
Right. Right.
they think you Usher or something like that.
Right.
Dude, this is Usher.
I know, especially for singing, like a lot of people don't like their own voice. It's like a mental block, I feel like.
Mhm.
Like even like the best singers in the world, like SZA's like, I don't like listening to my own voice. I'm like, what? You have like the best voice ever. But it's just something to get over and like just recording music and listening back to myself, I get more used to it.
Yeah,
But it's huge just to be able to do it all yourself and just do as many takes as you want
yeah,
and take your time. So
definitely. That's what makes it amazing like that. So
mhm.
All right, what you want to get into, man? Like you want to open up a project, you want to share your screen,
Yeah.
show me what you
So
did.
I'll go ahead and share my screen so now I can hear myself.
Oh, you can hear. Yeah, that's because you have your input echo on. So,
Oh
uh,
yeah, let me take
on
that off.
track two, yeah,
There we go.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess we can start. I just need to pretty much. I guess I should first make another thing to copy. I think I was recording some stuff. Let me put this closer. So I'll put this up here. Worry about worry about snipping this stuff up later. Okay.
Are you trying to drag and drop it up top? So what it was.
Yeah, so we can make a duplicate because for the in the video he said to make a duplicate of the vocal to
So,
for the
so
parallel
there's,
compression.
so there's a few different ways to do it. Yeah, you can actually create a new track and copy over.
Okay,
So like, say for instance, if you just wanted one phrase or one part of the song, compressed differently or mixed
right.
differently or EQ differently or anything like that, then you can just copy and paste that section or copy and paste the whole entire track. But you can
Okay,
also use the sends, which is what he so basically that's what parallel compression is, basically making a copy, EQing it, compressing it, saturating it different. So,
okay.
but in this case, you don't have to copy it to another track. Also, when you're recording vocals, make sure you record it in mono. I'm saying you got it in stereo.
Oh yeah.
Talk about that, yeah. So yeah, make sure you
I yeah, I watched he was talking about recording in mono helps find different issues
yeah.
or like listening to in mono, I believe. But I don't know, I'll let you explain why.
Yeah, so like in order to set up the mono, you have to change your input. So like where it says track one, your input microphone. So click on that. It's a little eye right under clips. Yeah, then go to Realtek and then go to Microsoft Array L. So would be
This one?
yep. And then if you know you're still getting a signal, then you should be able to.
Okay.
And if that's the right one, and if not the right one, then go to R. So basically, L is like track one, R is like track two, basically, if that makes sense. All right, input two. So yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, when you record vocals, think of vocals like this. A microphone only has one cable plugged into it, right? So it's one XLR cable, which is a mono cable. So whereas a keyboard, if I'm playing like my piano, well, of course, this piano to the side, this one only has one cable basically, but because it's a mono input. But if I had like my Yamaha, any of my other Yamaha boards, they are stereo, so I can plug up left and right, and I can plug them into my Focusrite, or I can plug them into my Behringer, or I can plug it into my um, Zoom over here. So then I would,
Okay.
channel one, channel two, and then I can
Right.
put them in stereo because it's a stereo signal coming out. But microphones are always mono instruments, so just think of it like that. Then when you mix it later on, then you'll mix it to stereo. But it is always good to like piggy back and forth. I think I made a video about this, but like when you get to mixing, you can actually change Cakewalk to the master where the master is in mono versus being in stereo. Because stereo, I mean, that's where you hear all the eye candy. You panned your vocals left and right.
Right.
You hear all the reverb the way it's supposed to be. But when you put it in mono, everything's flat in the center. So that's a
Mhm.
good way to kind of figure out, where your issues are, or if your
Yeah.
mix is good or not. Because if it's thumping in mono, then when it gets in
Mhm.
stereo, it's just going to be, dreamy.
Okay. Cool. So you work in mono and then when I'm finished with everything, put it back in stereo.
Yeah. Now, see, like for as your track, because it's in stereo, because you can see it's got two different sets of waves. So it's got the left wave and it's got the right wave. So that's why it's in stereo. Now,
Okay.
even though your vocal, I mean, you can record it in stereo, but I just think of it like that. You can always convert it to stereo later on. And the good thing about it is that all this stuff that you recorded right now, it can be converted into mono too as well. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Uh,
Okay.
all
Oh,
right,
I
now
thought we
you
put it
want
in mono.
Well, you have it set to record in mono now, but
Oh,
everything that
okay.
you record on track one is still in stereo.
That's okay.
So
Yeah, okay.
what you would do is you would highlight all of that on track one. You can do it now too as well. That
Okay.
so and then you want to go up to right click actually, and then go to convert to mono, which is right under bounce to clips. Further down. Yeah, there you go.
And then to put it back, you just pretty much go to the
Convert to stereo if you want to.
convert to
But I mean, when
stereo.
you get
Okay.
ready to bounce it down, you get ready to export the project or bounce it down,
Uh-huh.
it's going to convert to stereo anyway. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So just
No
think of
worries
like,
there.
so like you want if it's mono, so think stereo is like widening in it. So think about your vocal. Do you want your vocal, your lead vocal, do you want it on the side? You really want it centered. So
Mhm.
that's why it's better to start with mono. Then you can kind of start moving where you want stuff at. And then when you
Okay.
mix it down in stereo, it'll be that way. So
Perfect.
yeah. So like say for instance, as far as the sand technique, so what you would do is you can do this a few different ways. You can create an aux track. So what you would do is you click on track one. Track one is where you want that's your vocal, right? That you
Yeah.
recorded already. Okay, so track one, you would right click on it, all right, and then you would go to insert send, which is at the
Insert
top, near the top.
send this
Yep.
one.
Yep,
Okay.
insert send, and you want to send it to an aux track, new aux track. It's the third from the bottom, all the way down. New aux track.
Perfect.
Okay. So now your new aux track is going to be your compression. So you can name it CLA 76
Wow.
compression. Okay. So, and then there's a few other settings that we're going to do with this, but
Okay.
all right. So now what's happening is everything that's in track one is being sent to track two. Okay. So, but track two, you're going to be able to mix differently. I mean, mix differently. Like you want to put the compression on, if you want to squash it down, like he talked about, then you can do that too as well. On the left side, on your track inspector, the inspector is like right now it's got the pro channel up. Click the pro channel on and off. It's like a little knob. It's kind of it's highlighted in orange right now, or I guess it's orange. All the way to the left at the very top. So you see all the different knobs, the color like the red, the orange, green.
Oh, these ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So the little tiny knob. So go up a little bit more and over to your right. Yeah, right there. Click that. So show hide pro channel.
Pro channel. Okay.
So now on your click on track one. Good. Okay. So now where you see it says sends on, so you go back over to the left to the inspector. So all the way over to the left. All right. So and then go all the way down, and you'll see sends, and you'll see the big knob in the middle that says level, and you'll see post and pan.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a CLA. Right now it's set on post. All right. What post means is that anything that you do to track one is going to affect what's going to track two. Okay. So one of the settings that Divine talked about was setting it to pre-fader or pre-pan means that no matter what you do to track one, like if you turn track one down, it does not affect the signal going to track two. So you want to where it says post at, it's in orange where you was just at. So uncheck that. There you go. So now just you can play the vocal and see what it sounds like. Even though you don't have no CLA on it, but
Should I put it on there first?
yeah, you can put it on there. Yeah, I just wanted you to see how it worked. Like if you turn down, if you turn down track one, the fader, track two is still going to be getting signal coming out. So, but yeah,
Right.
so you got your CLA 76.
This real quick.
Go to plugins. If you trying to search for it that way.
Yeah. Since it's on there.
So it should be under dynamics.
Okay, yeah, I'll just search that way. I've gotten so much. Downloaded.
Okay.
Did I not
Or
download?
it's under vocals, either one.
Yeah, I wonder if I said under vocals.
I know you don't have a vocals. Let me see.
I
Go down.
might have to just download it real
Okay.
quick.
You should have it on there though. Do you have the did you do the Wave subscription or did you
Yeah,
buy the
I
plus?
thought I downloaded it, but I might have forgotten to do that. So hold on, let me go ahead. It only take a second. This laptop's so fast. So
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
go to Waves. It's like starts up like in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no excuse to not work on music. Usually I'm just sitting there waiting for laptop to warm up. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch YouTube. Not anymore. Okay, so let's go.
76.
Oh.
He kept saying 67. I'm like, what is 60?
Uh, yeah, this thing is really particular too when you search. Like if you don't do it the way it's literally listed.
You just
Oops.
had it pop up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would just put in
CLA.
CLA or and then you could just
Yeah,
scroll.
I scroll through.
Yeah. There you go.
76.
Is that the newest one? Yeah, the 14.
Yeah. I was gonna get the new one. Yeah, I'm excited to try this out because like the clarity and depth and how depth and how it like really picks up on the different parts of the voice,
Mm-hmm.
like the timbre and all that good stuff. Like, oh, it's I feel like it was what I was missing because before I thought it was like my mix was like the vocals need to be louder, so I was like turning up the vocals and turning down the instrumentals and going back and forth and just wasn't
Wasn't
making it more
cutting
any
through.
more clarity.
Yeah, it wasn't cutting through. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so
Now, you know, now Cakewalk has his own version of the 1176 too as well. So
oh,
don't knock Cakewalk's version too. Don't get me wrong, but
people do.
Waves is really good too as well. So, but yeah, one of the questions I get asked is how to make the vocals like sit right inside of a 2 track. You know, like that when you get a 2 track. When you mix in with stems, then you can really play with stuff. But that 2 track is already set. Of course, you can enhance it, you know, EQ it differently. Sometimes it helps to kind of figure out where your vocal is sitting at, like your tone of your vocal. So like
Hmm.
me, I got a real nasally voice, so like I'm all in the mids. So what I might do is if I had a 2 track, I might duck down the mids, you know, in that particular section. Or
Yeah, I just started to really get a handle on EQing and like it
oh,
was
it's all good, man.
definitely
You got time, man. You got time.
yeah,
Like I
it
said,
was definitely something I was kind of like, what? But now I'm starting to really understand it a lot better.
your best project and your best mix is your next mix. So
Yeah,
so
hopefully.
everybody's always making changes. I mean, even Divine is still like, you know, I follow the My Audio Nerds podcast all the time.
Uh-huh.
They're always making new discoveries and, you know, changing
Yeah.
stuff. So,
And it'd be like the little things. You
mhm.
know what I mean? Like they're talking about how auto tune works better when you record with it on instead of doing post.
Yeah,
So, and that makes sense because I don't normally use auto tune. I just pretty much try to make a vocal as clear, as good as I can,
that's good.
but I'm not like opposed to it. But
Yeah,
now, if I do try to use autotune, I'll just make sure it's doing it while I'm recording.
yeah. Now, sometimes when I used to use autotune was not just for vocals, but I would use it for instruments too as well. Like,
Hmm.
you know, if like an instrument, you know, guitar player was autotune a little bit, then I can slap some of my own, you know, and make it subtle. You wouldn't be able to recognize it a song, but
Right. Wow, that's smart. Yeah, I know you can like do this parallel compression to different instruments too in the mix, make it
mhm.
more clear.
Oh yeah, definitely for drums. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say the drums make those drums stand out.
Put it on a yeah, different, or you could just, I mean, even if it's not parallel, you can just put it on your drum bus, period, like the CLA 76, and it'll make it thump a little harder, just feel
Yeah, okay.
more aggressive.
So should I do mono stereo?
Mono for this. So yeah. So since you're doing it on the vocal itself, but if you was doing it on like your bus, like a stereo bus or your master, then I would do stereo.
Okay. All right. Cool. Should I leave this open for now or just leave it alone for now?
It's up to you. I mean, yeah, I mean, one good thing about a compressor, you could just turn it. I mean, you don't even have to adjust anything yet. You can just hear what the sound is going to change, and then you can bypass back and forth. If you wanted to pin it up, you can like move it to the right and then press the pin button. It's in the right corner.
Okay.
So that way, like normally when you click out anywhere else, the plugin will go away and you still gotta come back and you'll be like, okay, let me go click on it again, open
Right.
it back up.
Yeah, I like to get it out of the way, but yeah, I'm not sure how to squash it down because he was saying there's a setting in here where you should bring it down or something like that. But
Yeah, so like so you have the 4:1 ratio, 8, 12, and 20, and then the all is basically selecting all of them. And that's kind of like your 50:1 ratio where you really want to squash it.
okay. Where's
So where it says all ratio is like right there by the signal
uh
meter. Yep. And then so right now it's set on 4. So if you want to do all, then you can do that.
that would like squish it down.
Yeah, that's like a heavy ratio. So,
Okay.
but like I said, understanding how it works is one thing, but just knowing that every setting is not going to be cool for every song. So, I mean, it might be
Right.
cool for this song. You might say, okay, it works for this one, but on the other one, you might say, nah, I didn't really want to squash it that much. So it just depends
Right.
on. So you just gotta think about how your vocals recorded and what you really want out of your vocal.
Yeah, that's something I was definitely I've come to understand doing mixes and like sometimes you gotta adjust it depending on what the project is.
Hmm.
But like some good advice I was told was, just try the extreme settings, like, to see what the different knobs actually do in effect.
Hmm.
So you can then
Yep.
go from there.
Yeah, I go for what I want it to sound like versus what is doing, if that makes sense. Like because the average person doesn't know what the heck a compressor is and they don't know what those knobs mean. And you don't need to
Right.
really know what those knobs mean. Be honest.
No.
You just start
No.
messing with stuff until you get it the way you want it to be. And then if you
Yeah.
like it, then it's cool. Then you can take a picture of your settings and be like, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
song.
Remember that.
Go back to it. So now on your track 2, which is your aux track now. So
Mhm.
in order to really hear what it's doing, like I said, you could do the bypass on the CLA, or you could just bring the fader down on track 2. You can do it to the left again, all the way to the left on the inspector. So and then you can blend it in to taste
Talking about where now?
all the way down. That's the
Right
pan.
here?
So yeah, turn your pan back stereo. Just double click it, left click it, uh,
This right like this?
left mouse click it on the pan button. Right now you turned it to the left some. Yeah, just double click and it'll go back to center. So,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
so the fader is right there.
This one?
Yep, that's called a fader. So if
Okay.
you bring it all the way down, right now it says 0 decibels, so or it says 0, so it's like the compression is all the way on, but you don't want the compression to be competing with the original track. You just kind of
Okay.
want to kind of blend them together ever so slightly. So I would say bring it all the way down, and
Like
then
that.
and then listen to your vocal, and then slightly bring it up, and then if you bring it up, get it where you feel like, oh, it's really doing something. Oh, I really feel it now.
Okay. Let's see.
This is actually perfect because I don't hear your cakewalk at all anyways.
What was that?
I said I don't even hear your cakewalk, so it's not gonna be on the recording, no way.
Hey, that does work out.
Yeah, because you didn't. I don't think you shared your sound. That's what it was when you got ready to share it. There's a part that says you have to share your computer sound. So, but that's
Oh,
cool.
yeah, that works out. Um,
Do you hear a difference in it?
Definitely.
Okay.
It's definitely clear. I feel like
Your
there's got to be something, huh?
your track one was like peaking. What happened there?
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds really loud.
Play track one again. Okay, some parts of your track are like, yeah, too loud.
Maybe I need to. How would I fix that? Like maybe a
Well, it doesn't.
limiter
I
or
mean,
something.
it's okay. Go back to so tracks. I mean, where it says 6 on the timeline, measure 6. Just play from right there. I'm just looking at the meter. Oh, did you delete something? Oh, okay, no,
No, I
it
think it's got hidden.
just disappeared. Okay, okay, that's fine there. I mean, it looks fine. Yeah, it's so if you wanted to adjust the signal that it's sending over, then you can turn the level down on that track one where the send is, where it says CLA again, all the way to the left side, all the way over
Right here.
down where that big knob is, where it says CLA. You can turn the level down, and this is the level of audio is sending to track two, so you can adjust.
Okay, that's why it was so loud. It definitely sounds more clear. I kind of want to. If I disable that, will it kind of play it at its original state?
Yeah, yeah,
Turn
because
that off because I want to hear.
it's still gonna sound louder because you gotta it's like it's sending a signal again. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you turn it off now, the compression is not working. So
Okay, let's see if we can hear. See if there's a difference. Yeah, yeah, it definitely sounds like it has more like life and personality in it. Now I would have to put the other um plugins in too because I feel like that's the problem that comes in is when you put in the other plugins for those nice effects you want, and then it kind of starts to lose the life from the vocal. So then the compression just really helps add that back in, the
what
pedal
other
compression.
plugins are you planning on putting on the vocals?
So I usually do reverb
Okay.
and I do honestly I think
And when you use reverb, are you applying it directly to the track, like the FX band, basically where you got Sonida's
yeah,
gate?
I put it right here usually.
Okay. So another thing you might consider doing is the same concept, like creating an aux track,
Uh-huh.
sending it to an aux track, and creating an aux track just for the reverb or delay.
Okay.
Or instead of sending it to an aux track, you can send it to a stereo bus, and
Okay.
then that way you can blend in the reverb. And then depending on which reverb you're using, which reverb do you normally use? I'll put it like that.
I usually use the Cakewalk one.
Okay, the Sonidas.
Yeah. Could I put it in here?
You could put it in there. So yeah, I mean you
Okay.
could put it there. It just so it just depends on which way you want your signal to flow. So it's basically if it goes through.
Hmm.
So it's coming from track one, going to track two, going into the compressor. The compressor is going to come out and go into the reverb. So you could do it that way too as well.
Okay. Or do a stereo bus. So could you explain to me like why do we do like stereo buses or
So
put
stereo,
it send it through another
so a
mhm.
stereo bus is great for a few different things. For one, say for instance, you got 25 vocal tracks, all right,
Mhm.
and you want the same compression on all 25 vocal.
Right.
So instead of trying to add CLA 76 and copying a track and or send it to an aux track and say, oh, CLA 76, CLA 76, CLA
Right.
76,
Yeah, that's too
which is
much.
really going to make your new computer work really hard and it might freeze up. So instead, if you're going to use the same type of effects, then you can create a stereo bus and you can send everything to that stereo bus.
Okay, so it also just helps your computer work a little more efficiently.
Yeah, it definitely helps it. And then
Interesting.
also just when mixing too as well, when you get to the point where you say, hey, my drums are right. Now, right now you're using a 2 track, so it don't really matter. But if you was doing a brand new song and you was like, yeah, I put the drum, I got the bass, I got the 808, I got the hi-hats, I got the percussion, I got all of that sounding good. It's fat. Only problem is now I just feel like the drums need to come down some, or the drums need to come up some
Mhm.
more. You don't want to go through each track and try to bring them up individually. So if you send everything to a stereo bus, and in this case, you're actually changing. So right now, all of your audio is going to your master output, right? Your master is
Mhm.
going to your interface, which is built in your computer. So you can actually change, like, say, I created a drum bus. That drum bus can actually become the new master just for the drums. So
Mhm.
now when I bring that master, that bus down and up and down, I can easily turn the drums up, but I never lose the dynamics. I never lose the sound, the mix between each drum component. So
Mhm.
that's one thing that's cool. So like if you get all of that, it's cool when you're dealing with a few tracks, you really don't need to use it much. But if you was dealing with like 100 tracks, 200 tracks, which is the way most projects are nowadays, right? So uh,
Right.
then you want to say, oh, these are all of my background vocals. Let's put them on a bus. This is all my lead vocals. Let's put on the bus. This is my all my bass or 808s on the
Okay.
bus. And then when you get down to all the buses, you can pull up the console view on Cakewalk. And now you can just work your magic with just mixing the buses. Now
Right.
instead of having 200 tracks to deal with, now you probably only got maybe 10 tracks. You know,
Okay, so could you show me how to set up? Because I watched a video before you made. Can you show me how to set up a bus for the reverb? And then also, I wanted to see if you could help me with a doubler
uh-huh.
plugin.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so how do we set up the reverb to go through?
Okay, so going back to track one. So let's
Mhm.
go to track one, click on it at the top. Oh yeah, you got it selected now, but right click on it. Same way you did the send. So yeah,
On
anywhere.
this one?
So go a little bit further. So I'll think of it like the pain area, the dark gray area where there's nothing at. So yeah, right click
Got you.
and then you can insert send at the top, fourth from the top. Yep. And then this time instead of going to aux track, you can go to new stereo bus, which is the fourth from the bottom. All right. So then your stereo bus is going to be in your master spot. Now you don't see it right now, but if you look right but above your, actually you can pull up the console views as well. So bring the console view back up, and then to your right.
Right here.
So that's track one, but to your right, all the way to the right, go all the way over.
Oh, there it is, right there.
No, to the other side. Yeah, all the way over to the right,
Oh,
like you're
my
getting
bad.
like you're getting
So
ready.
this one?
No, go all the way over. See, you. It's kind of hard to explain. Right below your, right next to the scroll. You see what the scroll is that you just moved to go up and down.
This one?
Right there. See that? See those two arrows that popped up?
Yeah.
Not that right there. It's kind of hard to explain.
Oh, it's okay.
That's two gray strips. Those gray
This
strips.
one.
Hold it down and drag it over. There you go. Yeah,
There we go.
that's what I was trying to get you to.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have the bus that you just created, right? So go all the way over to the right. Scroll all the way up to the right.
Yeah,
That's
bus F. There
bus
it
F,
is.
okay? So you can now you already got a reverb bus. You got a reverb bus already there.
Huh. Okay.
You must have created one already.
Yeah, I think I might have when I watched your video. Oh,
Okay, so yeah, so you already got a bus. I mean reverb. So maybe you want bus F to be, I don't know,
doubler.
the doubler or whichever. Yeah. So maybe if you got
Okay.
one, so maybe you got 3 tracks you want to send to the doubler, then you can send them there.
Okay.
So you can add your reverb to that reverb bus.
So how do I connect it to track one? The
So
reverb.
so you already have track one sent to it. So because
Oh,
you
it is.
so when you go back to track one, click on track one.
Okay, I see that. Click on track one.
Okay. So and then you can do it in the inspector view to the left, or you could do it on the console view, whichever. So all the way to the left, you'll see bus F.
Yeah.
Okay. So say I didn't want it to go to bus F, maybe I do want it to go to that reverb. So you can uh right click right there.
Right here.
Mm, yep. Or left click either one and then change it to reverb, the one right above bus F. Okay. So now
Okay.
this is the reverb. Okay. And so same thing, you might want it to be pre-fader. So that means no matter how much you no matter how much you adjust track one, the signal is going to be consistent going into the reverb.
Okay.
So the same button that I had you press before when I had you press that pre-post button,
Yeah.
yeah, that was on track one. So you're on a reverb track now, but
Okay. What about the post?
on
Should
I'll go back to track one again,
Oh, there we go.
and then that
Okay,
post.
there it is.
So click that, yeah, and then you can control the level of what's going into that. So if you want to bring the level down, so now you got some nice reverb on there. Now you can start playing. Now try playing your track one.
Yeah, definitely. It sounded really good. I'd have to adjust all that. But okay, cool. So that works. And then maybe if you can help me set up a doubler. Do you know how to use, is there one for a Cakewalk, or do you know how to use any of the Waves ones?
Yeah, I mean, there's a waves doubler. I mean, which one do I use? So you can use a chorus effect. Chorus on Cakewalk is basically a doubler, so that's all doubling
Okay.
the chorus. Or you can use the delay, either one. But it does have a chorus effect plug in and it has a delay plug in, so you can use the delay that the Sonidas delay that way too as well.
Yeah, I didn't think about using delay like that. I have used it before. Okay. So it's called Chorus.
Yeah, you just type in chorus. I think it search for it. I don't ever really use the search to do stuff. I just always go to it, man, and I just find it. Like I click the plus sign in the track bins. Like if you want to make bus F that, I just click that where it says FX on the track. I click the plus sign and I find it, and then you can sort by category too as well or type. So that
Yeah, it really depends on my mood.
yeah, got you. So yeah, you
Is
have the
it
multiverse chorus flanger. That's the one that comes with Cakewalk.
okay? So should I make a bus for this or?
You could drag and drop it right to bus F because bus F is nothing right now. Remember?
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then there's different presets on there. Right now it's set on stereo chorus, but yeah, you can play with some of the presets. This does have flanger too as well, so I mean you can always turn the flanger mode off, but
flanger mode. What's that do?
flanger it's kind of hard to explain. It's like it deals with like um kind of adding I feel like alien type of characteristics to your vocal. That's why the way I think of it. Um if you I don't know how much familiar you are with different songs, but do you know like the group Cameo at all?
No.
Okay, so okay, all right. I know how old you was. So, but so the group Cameo is it's a R&B group, basically a funk group. So some of the snares that were used back in those days. Okay, like take for instance, um, actually I can play it so you can see what I'm talking about. What it can kind of give you the sound. Yeah, okay, that's a good way to describe it. It's like a swooshing sound, like a sounds like a jet. Like it kind of it's really good for like transitioning, but it can add like a different characteristic to your, especially on snares. Like a snare can be like cut, but it can be like cut, cut. It'll add like some extra stuff to it.
Okay.
Something you can
Yeah.
play around with. Like I said, this one is not strictly chorus. Another way you can get chorus is just simply doubling the vocal part, right? That creates a chorus or creates a doubler effect. Just double it. That's
Yeah.
just record it again. So, or you could do what I do when you want to cheat and you don't really feel like recording it again. You can take it
Right.
and copy that particular section that you want to put the chorus on or the doubler on, and then you nudge it a little bit to the left or to the right. So, but
Oh,
so
you nudge it in here?
no, yeah, I'll show you. This is not using effects at all. This is just using the just vocal part itself, basically.
Okay. So how do I connect this? Um, how do I get this on the track one? Or
Which
is
one
it is
you want track one on bus F?
yeah.
Okay, so then go and then click on track one again.
Okay.
All right. Now, this time I have you do a difference. Before I just had you right click and go to insert scene, but this time I want you to go to all the way to the left again. You're gonna hear this the inspector name, so that way you know what it is. Right below where it says Sinitis Gate, right below Sinitis Gate, it says scenes. There's a plus sign right there. Click the
Yeah.
plus sign, and then go down to bus F. All right, and then you can do the same thing. You can press post the post button for it.
So what does the post do again?
So the post is if post is on, that means it's post the fader, right? So the fader is the slide that's at the bottom of the track that controls the volume of that particular track one. You don't want the volume. So say for instance, you said, man, the vocals are, too loud, or then you want to turn the vocals down. But what happens is when you turn the vocals down, you end up turning all the other effects down, the CLA down, the reverb down, and the chorus effect down.
Mhm.
You want them to be consistent. So because if your volume is fluctuating, you want the signal going to those to be consistent. You don't want them to change. So, like for instance, if you turn the volume up on track one, guess what? It turns the reverb up more too as well. You get the
Right.
reverb coming up all of a sudden. It's like, dang, all of a sudden the reverb's real loud on this one section.
Yeah.
So you don't want it like that. That's the reason why you do pre. So when you uncheck it, it puts it on pre fader, which means
Okay.
that everything that you adjust to track one, everything that you send is coming before the fader at the bottom.
Okay.
So think of like a track reads from the top to the bottom. So it starts off at the top with your gain, and then it goes into your EQ, then it goes into your sends, your effects, or whichever, and then it goes into your pan, to your interleave, which is basically switching it from stereo to left, and then it goes down to your mute, and then it goes down to your pan, and then it goes down to your fader. So you want all of the effects to kick in before the fader is adjusted. So that's why we
Okay.
uncheck it. So that makes sense.
Most definitely. Definitely something to think about.
Okay. So you could try playing it now. You
Let's
might
see.
bring bus F down some. I'm not quite sure how loud it's going to be, but
Yeah, let's see.
and like I said, these are just kind of like the factory settings. You can always go through and kind of mess with them. That's what I like to do sometimes. I just go through and say, I'm gonna choose a new plugin. I never really worked with this one before, but I'm gonna see if I can get something good out of it. And it might end up being something I use on my vocal, or it might end up being something I use on something totally different. But I might use it
Right.
with the song though, if I like the way it sounds. So
Right on. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely sounding good. I noticed there's a little bit of something like it's like it's
mhm.
hard to describe. It's some kind of frequency sound.
Make it sound robotic.
No, it's like these it sounds like tiny little beads falling like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
be the
Hmm.
flanger part. Yeah,
The what now?
that's the flanger part, probably.
Flanger.
Yeah, remember I said that particular plugin is for chorus and flanger.
Uh-huh.
There is a
So
so like you can go through the different presets, you can change it, or you can change like the so like
now
a
they have a cartoon.
so that's a stereo chorus by itself. That's vibrato. You got it on now. Right.
Sounds good. I still hear like it's like almost like a static or something. I don't know. It's just you can't hear, so
Yeah, and then you probably want to, like I said, you got right now you got it like maxed out, so you might want to
yeah.
dial it down some.
I'm talking about like the gains or like
Well, you can do the gain,
up
or you can
here.
just turn the fader down itself. So,
Oh, this part, the fader.
or you can do the fader on the console too as well. So you got, I mean, that's the thing you're gonna learn about any DAW. You got multiple ways to do things, so you'll be like, so yeah,
Right.
makes it fun.
Cool. Well, I think this was super helpful so far. Looks like we're running out of time. I was interested in learning what you're talking about with nudging the vocals, but I don't know if you're gonna have enough time to explain that.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you real quick. I mean,
Okay.
got about 3, 4 minutes left. So, because I mean, I got on a little late. So,
Okay.
okay. So, for nudging, you can exit out of the console view. Um, you can press the yeah, or just bring it down either
Let's
one.
press that. Oh,
Yeah,
well, where'd it go?
I just went away. I mean, you can always bring it back up later on. So,
Okay.
any of these views that you want to see, they're all up in the view mode at the top.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
So
Let's
you
go
can
to
always
view
click on it,
and
or you can learn the shortcut for it. So
that's
say
true.
for instance where it says track one, clip record four. So you see record four.
I
No,
see.
no, in
Oh,
the actual track part where your recording is, your audio
uh-huh.
all the way over.
Oh, record. Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Record four. Yeah,
Okay.
each of these are called clips, so that's why. So that's clip record four. So
Okay.
you want to copy that to a new track. So what I'm gonna do is, sorry, I'm done. Voice start tripping.
Are you good?
Press Control T on your keyboard, Control and T. All right.
That's the new track.
Yep. So they added a new track, right?
Yeah.
No, you dragged it up. Oh, you know how to drag. Look at you. You know how to drag it up. Okay.
Yeah, I know a little bit something.
And so while holding Control and Shift, okay, Control is to copy, Shift is to keep it in the exact place that it's in. All right.
Wow.
So and then drag it down to so Control Shift and then drag it down.
Wow, that's gonna make things a lot easier. Like I can drag it right in place, lock it in place like that.
Yeah. So and then I don't know if your nudge is. Let's see if your nudge is activated. If it's not activated, then we just have to do this the other way. So
Okay.
if normally you can set your nudge up where the cursor on your keyboard works to nudge it to the left or to the right. So if you use the right arrow, it nudges it to the right. See if yours is set up like that. I'm not quite sure if it is or not, but
Okay, what do you want me to do?
so just press the cursor on your keyboard, the arrows, the right arrow.
Okay. Because I don't know if it's doing anything.
Okay, it probably didn't do anything. Well, let's do it the other
Plus
way.
it's switching between
So
tracks.
press the snap at the top. It's a button that says snap at the very top of the screen, very all the way at the top. It's right in the middle of the software, basically. So on the control bar, let's go over some more, all the way over, right near where the play button is. Okay, so now I go back to the left, and you
Snap. There it is. There it is.
so uncheck that. Snap. What it does is whenever you move a clip, it'll put it like lining up so it falls on
Yeah.
a certain beat, like on a whole note or a half note or eighth note, a quarter note, whichever. When you uncheck it, it's because you really want to like be able to move it around freely and not have it locked to a certain grid, basically. So now what you can do is just hold the clip with your left mouse button and just drag it over a little bit. Oh,
Okay, that's what you mean by nudging. That's smart.
yeah. So and then the whole point of chorus is to kind of give you where it seems like two people are singing it basically. But
Right.
so yeah,
That's so
of
smart.
course that might be too far off, but when you zoom in, once you zoom in more, you can kind of get it more like close. Now, of course, it's gonna probably sound so. Your track two doesn't have anything on it except the gate, right? It's not going to any sends. It doesn't have any of those effects on it, so it's just gonna be
Right.
dry signal, you know.
Uh-huh.
So then you can listen to that and see, okay, well, see if that, how that sounded. Then what
So,
I would
but I
normally do
can
is go ahead.
uh-huh. Oh, I can hit put this on the same bus as this one.
Yeah, but you might not want it to be. So, like I
Yeah,
said, so like once again, you don't have to have every track have the same effects. Like, some,
right, that's true.
like you can have that's the whole point of the parallel compression, right? Because you want your original track to be your original track, and then you want your all your process tracks to be different so you can blend them together. So same
Right.
thing with this. You might want your lead vocal to have all those eye candy effects on it, but you don't want your background vocals to have all of that. So this
Okay.
is it'll kind
Well,
of go ahead.
how would I put this into the compression, the parallel compression?
Oh, how would you want track three to have the CLA on it as well?
Yeah. Like could I just do it to this one or would I have to make its own?
You should be able to just right click,
This one?
yeah, and then send insert send all the
Yeah,
way to
these
the top.
buses are new. That's why I was like, I need help with the buses. Um,
Fourth from the
insert
top,
send,
fourth from the top,
insert send.
and then
And then
go
uh
to CLA.
perfect. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting it. Getting it. Because I definitely do want that to have the compression. Okay, so let me go ahead and woo, those levels need to be controlled. Oh yeah, it's not, I saw in post. That's why.
Yeah, and this is probably loud too as well. Like I said,
It's also loud, yeah.
probably don't need to have it up that loud.
No.
The track itself too as well, so you can turn the track down some as well.
Where do I turn the track down? Oh, right here?
Yep.
Okay, okay. Cool. So like one other question, like why are there like two things the value like right here and right here?
So this is the one that's in the middle. That's the sin. Is the think of it like the fader.
You talking
Uh,
about this one? Or
yeah.
this one?
Sorry, the one that's near CLA. The one that's right.
This one.
Yeah. So that's a sin
Okay.
fader. All right. The one that's at the bottom of the track is the fader for the actual track itself. So what you're sending to the signal that you're sending to another track, like you send it to an aux track, this is how you control what's going to that aux track where you're on now. The
You
one
talking about this one
below,
does?
yeah, that one does. Yeah,
Okay.
so that goes, you'll see because it says CLA, right? That controls what's
Right.
going to the CLA.
Okay.
The one below controls the track that you're on. So the track that you're on is track three, right? Track three
Yeah.
doesn't have the CLA on it. It's just the vocal track or the
Okay.
copy of the vocal track. I put it like that.
Hmm.
So that fader controls the overall volume of that track itself.
Right.
So that's why there's different knobs. I mean, it's just dealing with routing. So you know, but like I said, once you get everything mixed in, that's what those buses are for. Because then you could just deal with one knob or one fader. You don't have to worry about like trying to. Oh man, I forgot to turn this knob down. Oh, I forgot to turn that fader down.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the master. What is this for? Is this for anything important or?
The master is the overall volume. Right now you got it 1.5. You might want to double click the master fader, the blue fader. Yeah, double click it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So that always resets it to 0. I would keep that at 0 decibels. I would never boost it up more, like on the special occasions. So that all deals with your master sound. Like when you get ready to export the track,
Mhm.
where that master sits at can be life or death. If
Yeah, so
if
this is
it
that affects all of it, like
that
every
affects
track.
everything. Yeah, that affects
Okay, good to know. Yeah, okay, cool.
So
Cool.
if it's like peaking and in the red, then that's not going to translate well when you get ready to distribute your song or whichever. So you want to make
Right,
sure that you don't have that peaking. Like a good rule of thumb is to keep it in the green, maybe a little yellow.
right.
So what I mean by green is that when you see the signal and it's in green, cool. If it goes a little bit to yellow, great. But if it stays in yellow and hits the red, no, you have to do something different. That means
Yeah,
your mixes, you probably have to put a limiter on it, or
right,
you could turn the gain down at the top. So there's a gain button at the very top of that track, and
right, right
use
here.
that to control. So yeah, so sometimes I'll bring that down if I want it because once you get your sound everything mixed the way you want it to be. Once you export it, that's when you'll go into the process of mastering it or pre-mastering. So, and then once you do that, normally, whether you're going to send it out to somebody or you're going to try to do it yourself or use AI technology, like
Hmm.
Lander or eMaster, or even Bandlab has a mastering software too as well. So once you send it to that, then it's going to be the one that's going to try to get it up to a high level where it's competing with the sound that you hear on.
Right.
So, but yeah, you don't
So
want to.
you said you export the project, then you master?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's best to do that because once you so what you're doing is the mix. So once you do your final mix, you export file, export as wave, 16-bit, 24-bit, wherever you have it at, 48 kilohertz. Then you can bring that into a totally new session if you want to mix it yourself.
Okay.
I got a video where I talk about how to mix, not how to mix, but how to master a song.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, so it's tough to do, it's really, especially if you don't have the right gear, try and do it on headphones don't always work well. Uh,
Oh,
but like I said, I use faithfully Lander a lot for mastering. I even tried BandLab one time too as well. But
oh, and that's like
those,
AI.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Lander was like one of the
And
first ones that came out with doing it, but now everybody's doing. And now Waves has his version of it, and Lander has the actual software that you can get, to put in your DAW, to actually do it there. But before it used to be you just go to lander.com, you drop the file in there, give it a few moments. It asks you, a few questions like, hey, what do you want it to sound like? You could drop a reference track in and it'll listen to that, try to emulate the sound, and then you go from there. So but yeah, you just want to when you give it to somebody, it's best to give them one track, one stereo track, basically, unless you want them to like really you know deal with stems or something like that. But for the most part, they normally when a person masters, they just deal with one track. So
mm,
yep.
interesting. Okay, yeah, I definitely want to learn how to do more mastering so I can do it myself. I don't want to send it to someone else and they mess with the whole song.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I heard myself.
Awesome. Well, I feel like I've learned a lot. Like I really appreciate the help.
Oh, no problem, man. I'm glad that you did it. I was like, you surprised me when you signed up. I was like, oh my god, someone signed up.
Oh, immediately, because I was like, look, because I was going to work with someone else, but I'm like, the program that I use, you're already very knowledgeable, and I had that reference to show you, so I was like, you're definitely the man to get the job done. So
Oh, well, I appreciate that, man. Shoot,
yeah, and the mix is sounding really good. I'm actually really surprised. So I'll definitely be back for
okay.
more.
Yeah, well, and you ain't even really adjusted nothing yet. You just put stuff on. Sometimes when
Right,
you
I
put
didn't even adjust yet, and already like I like it a lot. But
yes,
yeah,
sometimes when you put
there's
an
a
effect
video
on,
Devon does he teaches you how to do the perfect reverb, and
uh-huh.
he has it down to like a math where he's like calculating the BPM and
Yeah,
like doing math on that. He's like, this is the perfect one for this one. I'm like, yo, I'm excited to try that. So
yeah. Now, so the thing about that is that most plugins have so like Sonidas has a uh host feature where it'll actually listen to the tempo of your project and then it'll follow that. So there's a button you press and it'll just follow the tempo of the project itself. So trying
what
to
is it
figure
called now?
so if you go to like the Sonidas Reverb, um, you can just click on it. You got it up somewhere over there. or even I thought you had reverb on one of the tracks. I don't remember where
I
it was.
did. It's in a
Console view.
bus.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Console view, if you want to see it there. Alt two. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, you just gotta drag it up. Yeah.
Reverb. Okay.
Is it on this one? Or is it on? Okay, so not on reverb, but it's on delay. That's what it's on. It's on the Sonita's delay. So yeah,
Okay.
my bad. Sonita's delay has it. So like when you go into like ping pong delay or tape delay, like left right left right left right or whichever,
Uh,
it'll actually set it. There's a part that says host, and then it'll so your BPM is at 120, or so it says is at 120, and then it'll set to 120. So that'll work for that. For as reverb, yeah, you could get down to the exact science and exact math, if you want to do that. That's for those
uh-huh.
that are really on that. But you also see him say a lot that it's about how it sounds to you too as well. So I always say rely on
Right.
your ears more than the number because the numbers
Right.
sometimes don't mean anything. I mean they do, but that some people refer to it and they say that's all they just look at numbers all day long. Other people say I don't care about numbers. How did it make me feel or how did it sound? If it didn't sound
Right.
good or if it
Well,
sounded
that's good to hear because yeah, I know like what's important is the decay
mm-hmm.
because you don't want it to be bombarding the next like line or
Yeah.
verse with
But
like that echo.
what works with that in Sonitis Reverb. Now, in Sonitis Reverb is called the pre-delay. So that's what you need to mess with. And pre-delay
Pre-delay.
and I got a video that talks about how it makes a big difference between it's what it's basically what you hear in the room before the delay, like before the reverb actually kicks in. And what it allows you to do is get distinction between your words. So you're just not hearing a washy sound. So pre-delay, you got yours at 0 right now, but I would play
Right.
with that because and you'll
You
be
would
able to hear
what?
the difference between you could take one phrase and just bring the pre-delay all the way up, bring it all the way down, kind of mess around with it. Other thing that you want to
Right.
mess with is your early reflection. So early reflection too as well kind of helps, and then your dry signal. But right now using this as a bus, so you don't really need the dry signal up, right? Because you just blend into taste.
Okay.
That tail button, this is what's important. The tail button, you got it checked already. The tail means that the reverb is applied to the tail end of the word. Okay. Whereas the reverb could be applied to the whole entire phrase that you sing. So the tail end is good if you want to hear each word, but then you want to kind of hear the reverb at the tail of it. Basically, that's what it means.
Right.
So, but you can uncheck that and you can, whatever, depending on what you want to do. Then, of course, you got the width. The width is really good too, as well, if you want to get more wider sound. So, it's a bunch of stuff you can play with and just within one plugin. And
Right.
you can use one plugin and have multiple buses for it. So maybe you want to have a tight reverb, and then maybe you want to have a hall or a deep reverb, that's really long. And then you can have them on separate buses. You can mix them in, to get the sound that you want. Or maybe you want the verse to just be tight reverb, but on the chorus, you want it to be really long. So
Right.
it's a bunch of ways you can play with it. That's what's cool about having all these features. But originally, back in the day, they would just have, they only had like so many tracks to work with. So they would have one reverb track and they would have one delay track, and that would be it. And all the instruments, everything would go into those two tracks. And then they would have to it just be like, oh, the lead vocals might have this much reverb, but the snare drum
Right.
might have that much reverb. And they just
Hmm.
had, those two tracks to work off of. So the minimalist approach, now that we got so many tracks, we can do so many things with it. But sometimes it's good to just say, hey, let me find one good reverb sound, and I'm going to use that for the whole song. Like everything that has reverb on it, I'm just going to use that one reverb, you know. So, but just different ways to think about it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out your video on Reverb as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's because when I was messing around with it, I did find something that works. I actually just noticed that um I was messing with more of the pre-delay, not
Decay
the
time.
decay time
Yeah.
this whole time. So now I can mess around with this a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
see
Mm-hmm.
what I like.
Yep. Okay. Cool, man.
Cool.
I'm gonna email you. because you know you signed up for this, you get my vocal preset, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you both of them. You're gonna get the waves and the one that's for Cakewalk specifically.
Okay.
Okay, so
Perfect. I'm excited.
yeah, so I'll try to send. I mean, get off now so I can email it because I gotta go. I'm playing for the STL Blues game, so I'm in St. Louis, so I'm playing for the hockey game today. So I gotta get ready for that. So
Wow, that's what's up. You gonna be singing?
yeah, be singing and performing. Yeah, so we doing playing right before the game starts, and then we'll do like the first intermission. So we'll perform for that too as well. So it's gonna be fun. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, man.
Yeah, have you done lots of live performances?
Oh yeah, man, I perform all the time, man. Weddings, everything. I mean, I do that more than that's why sometimes it's hard to get the videos out because I'm out. Is this is slow time right now, but March is here, so stuff is kicking back up. I already got like 12, 13 weddings lined up already. I'm doing
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't done any live performances yet. So,
gotta do them.
yeah,
I'm trying to get to the point where I can just be at home and be like, oh yeah, I don't have to go nowhere today. Okay, cool. And I still made money. So that's what I'm trying to get to. So,
right.
burn myself dry trying to, because sometimes I work a 9 to 5. I work at a school and then I come from there and doing this and then got family, and
Hmm.
my kids, and sometimes too much, man. So
I feel it because I work full time as well, and I take a couple classes online and do that and music, and yeah,
yeah.
just got to get in where you can.
All right, Trevor, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I'm sorry I kept you a little longer. It's all right.
Oh no, I appreciate it because we had the technical difficulties, and like I needed to definitely get some help. So I'm gonna fiddle around with this and see what I can do.
Yeah. So I'm when I stopped this, I did record the whole entire thing, even the part that where we got cut off or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I send you the raw. I'm going to edit it, but I'm going to send you the raw one too as well, so you can refer back to it. So
Okay.
you should be able to hear me and then see whatever you did. Of course, you won't hear your audio. So, but I mean, you'll hear your vocal, but you won't hear your cakewalk. But it's fine because this is
Yeah.
what it sounds like anyway. So,
Right.
all right, dude.
Right
Hey,
on. Thanks,
yeah,
Norman.
man. All right, enjoy your day.
Have a good day.
Yep, take care.
Good luck.